Macedonia in English. Just about everything you want to know.
Enlargement is continuing. Commissioner Füle's spokesperson says, "The enlargement is continuing. The conclusions of the General Affairs Council, I think, are expressing quite clearly that the enlargement is key policy of the European Union and it will continue. These conclusions create conditions for maintaining the momentum of enlargement." EU Enlargement Commissioner Stefan Füle's spokesperson Peter Stano said. According to him, there is clear perspective and timetable not only for Macedonia but also for Serbia and the other partners in the accession process. Stano reiterated Füle's comments that the conclusion on Macedonia gives a clear perspective as well as a clear and significant breakthrough in the Macedonia-EU relations, and there is a clear timetable of tasks of what needs to be done on the European Union side and what needs to be done on the side of the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and once this is done we can hope for opening the negotiations soon, Stano stressed. Swedish Foreign Minister built on conclusions on Macedonia. "We spent the greatest amount of time on the Macedonian issue, but I think we made progress," Swedish Foreign Minister Carl Bildt said. According to him, there is a very good opportunity to set a date, which was not the case the previous years. "There is no specific date, but that has never been on the course. It's a matter of a time frame which will be followed by a discussion and decisions, and that's nothing new," he stressed. Reinhold Lopatka, State Secretary in Austria's Foreign Ministry, said the Council's decisions were not brave. "There is still no date to begin negotiations. More could have been done had there been a good wish and more courage. The EU must be more careful so that courage does not leave it. We need brave decisions," he noted. EU Council established clear negotiations framework, says Vice Prime Minister. After 4 years of status quo in the EU integration process, the EU Council of Ministers established a clear framework for Macedonia's accession negotiations, Vice Prime Minister for European Affairs Arifi pointed out. According to her, the framework envisages opening accession negotiations on the basis of a report which will be prepared by the European Commission in the first quarter of 2013. She pointed out that the further implementation of reforms will be evaluated and then the European Commission will use that as a basis to set a draft framework to begin negotiations. The Vice Prime Minister also added that chapters 23 and 24 will be subject to analytical screening. When asked to comment on the different interpretations of the conclusions, she stressed that the EU has refrained from using words suggesting that it has set conditions to Macedonia. On the contrary, we are given a framework for common preparations for negotiations with the EU on membership reforms, she explained. According to her, this is the best report the Council of Ministers has ever published. Foreign Minister Popovski on Macedonia conclusions. "These are the most elaborated conclusions on Macedonia so far. This is not the first time that we are facing an obstruction," Foreign Minister Nikola Popovski stressed. According to him, it's important that all of Macedonia's achievements during the previous period were highlighted. "This is an unambiguous and clearly stated support, and it's about a serious commitment by a serious group of leaders, member states and institutions," Popovski added. The foreign minister considers that the conclusions provide a certain perspective, which he described as a certain benefit. "The key thing is that we still haven't established a unit of good neighborliness in the metric system, which was used as a pretext to impose obstructions, but whatever that measure may be, Macedonia is a champion in that discipline," he said. Popovski declined to comment on the time frame Macedonia has been given, saying evaluations cannot be discussed in the context of a framework. Parties disappointed with conclusions on Macedonia. VMRO-DPMNE said it was disappointed with the decision not to grant Macedonia a date to begin accession negotiations, despite the fact that the country got an opportunity for simultaneous negotiations, a model proposed by the European Commission. Though some progress has been made, we would like to express our strong disappointment with what happened at the summit. VMRO Dopamanae wants to clearly state that injustice was once again dealt to Macedonia yesterday. Yesterday, the EU missed a chance to further stabilize and integrate the whole Western Balkans region into the EU, VMRO Dopamanae Communication Center Director Ilya Dimovsky said. SDSM said it regrets that Macedonia failed to get a date for a fourth time. This is yet another defeat for the country's European perspectives, which comes at a sensitive moment. There are no dilemmas that the main reason for this failure lies exactly in the unjust issue over our constitutional name the Republic of Greece imposed on the Republic of Macedonia, thus abusing the positions and privileges its EU membership offers, SDSM's Secretary Andrei Petrov stressed. Regional Post-ISAF Conference takes part in Skopje. Defense Minister Fatmir Besimi addressed the Regional Post-ISAF Engagement, Lessons Learned and the Legacy for A5 Countries Future Expeditionary Missions Conference organized by the Euro-Atlantic Council of Macedonia. Minister Besimi reiterated Macedonia's plan to remain NATO's partner in Afghanistan and its peacekeeping missions. Regarding the EU Council of Ministers' decision to postpone the setting of the EU accession negotiations date due to the same reasons that were used to reject its NATO membership, Besimi said it was important that Macedonia remained focused on its Euro-Atlantic perspective, regardless of the formal conclusions. The contribution to peacekeeping operations and reforms continue. In that regard, NATO is one step forward because a summit will not be needed once the name dispute is resolved, said Besimi. Innovations as perspective in times of crisis. Participants at the Conference Innovation Day, organized by MASIT in Skopje, suggested that business, academia, and the state should join their potentials to create innovations which are pivotal in times of crisis, when new solutions are the only response to challenges of the competition. We may have invested only in safe projects in times when the business was growing, but now we should consider taking more risks for innovative solutions. Innovations will add to the IT industry's perspectives, said MASIT head Igor Bimbilovsky. During the conference, JSC Makedonski Telekom Skopje and T-Mobile Macedonia published an advertisement titled Partner on Innovations, which aims to elaborate new ideas and concepts that can be used within the frames of the interactive media applications and services for e-government, social networks and mobility. To realize the three most successful ideas, the companies of the T-brand are investing €100,000 through entering a partnership. We are opening the doors for introduction and development of innovations in the country with the purpose to transform our vision into reality. We offer main role in promotion of communications of the future to anybody, and in return we offer our experience, support and investment in realization of good idea, declared Daniel Saz, MT CEO. National Council for Entrepreneurship and Competitiveness holds meeting. Theme of discussion at the meeting of the National Council for Entrepreneurship and Competitiveness were innovations and fields from the Index of Global Competitiveness. The National Council, through its committees and working groups, will directly participate in carrying out activities envisaged in the innovation strategy and the action plan, whose purpose is to adjust the structure of the teaching staff to the needs of the economy, to increase the cooperation between higher education institutions and the business community in the area of innovations, transfer of technologies, research and development, declared Vice Prime Minister for Economic Issues Vladimir Peshevsky, who chairs the Council. The Council has been formed with the intention to improve the competitiveness and innovation in the domestic economy through cooperation between the higher education institutions and the business community. Members of the Council are representatives of the private and public sector, representatives of high educational institutions, and non-governmental organizations. Traffic Warning Daily Report. Heavy vehicles are banned at road sections Mavrovo-Debar, Straža, Debar-Struga, Tetovo-Popova Šapka and Kičevo-Makedonski Brod-Prilep. Traffic on all main and regional roads moves slowly in winter conditions on wet roads. Automotor Association of Macedonia advises drivers to drive carefully as roads may be frosty due to low morning temperatures. Drivers are advised to drive carefully on Debar-Struga, Mavrovo-Debar, Katlanovo-Veles and the Mirkapja-Udovo roads due to frequent landslides. Construction works of Katlanovo-Veles section of M1 highway will continue in the following period. Intensity of traffic is moderate outside urban areas, and the same condition is taking place on the border crossings where there aren't any longer delays needed for accomplishing all customs formalities. Winter equipment in vehicles is mandatory until the 15th of March 2013.
Macedonia in English. Just about everything you want to know.